Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Wild Magnolia Tarot. My name is Maddie, and this is your weekly reading for July 26th through August 1st. Quick disclaimer, this is a general reading and cannot possibly resonate with everyone. Take what applies to you and leave the rest. This reading is for this week, however, time is an illusion and the future is never set in stone. So these messages may apply now, next week, last week, or never. If you feel this reading isn't for you, you're probably right. Trust your intuition. There are hundreds of wonderful readers on this platform who may have something more attuned to your situation. I cuss sometimes and I'm bad at sugarcoating, but anything I say comes from a place of love and understanding. My channel is a judgment-free zone. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor, lawyer, physicist, neurologist, dentist, veterinarian, psychologist, or professor of any kind. I'm just a girl with a passion for tarot, and anything resembling advice is based solely on my opinion and ever-evolving cornucopia of experiences and observations, as well as my interpretations of the cards and little bits of information that may pop into my head intuitively. If you didn't catch all that, I'll post it in the description. Okay. So we're starting off again this week, like we did 2 weeks ago with an archetype card, and I already drew it for you guys. You guys got the One. So the idea behind this card is our connectedness with everyone and everything in existence. It is the oneness of the universe. It is unity and community. It puts into perspective the role we play as part of the greater whole of the entire universe, basically. There's also an element there of, being on the same level as everyone else around you. You're just as important as everyone else around you, and everyone else is just as important as you are. It's a very neutral, balanced energy that includes everyone and everything, and excludes nothing. So that is going to be a theme for you guys this week and a theme for this reading. So now I'll go ahead and I'll draw a card for you guys. It's going to tell us what cosmic energies may be at play for you guys this week that may be influencing and affecting your decisions and any circumstances that may arise. Okay, so we've got New Moon Eclipse, and it says expect powerful change. Alrighty. So big changes may be coming your way, guys. I suspect these may be very spiritual changes happening for you guys internally when I pair it with the One card. Or perhaps a very notable shift in your perception of yourself, your place in the world, as well as others that you may be dealing with. You may find yourself coming into some understandings that allow you to be a lot more empathetic or sympathetic towards people that you may not usually feel a connection with. Okay, so with those cards on the table, we'll go ahead and we'll turn to the tarot. Using a different tarot deck this week. I just got it. It's called the Neon Moon Tarot, and I unfortunately have forgotten the name of the individual who created the deck, but they are beautiful, and I will link it in the description if you're interested. Alrighty, so the first card I'll pull for you guys, we're going to see what's going on for you guys in the material realm. Money, stuff, health, the physical. Work and career is included in that. What's going on for Taurus and the material? As well as resources are included as well. Let's see. What do we have for Taurus? July 26th through August 1st. Okay, so we have the Executive of Arms, which in this deck, this corresponds to the King of Swords. So ideas of being very logical and intellectual. My lord, I can't talk. It's an authoritative position that you may hold in some situation. But there's this element of acting from a place of logic and truth. Making decisions and making decisions based off what you know to be true. Living for truth, okay? And this also includes removing and I'm sorry. My brain froze for a second. I glitched. My bad. Anyway, so on the material, when it comes to work, when it comes to business or resources or whatever it might be, you guys are coming from a place of logic and intellect. Your utmost goal or your priority is clarity and honesty. You are operating in truth for truth. This also means that you may be cutting out anything unnecessary or any kind of bullshit out of your life on the material realm. If there is anything work-wise or also health-wise, anything that you need to cut out of your life in order to be most successful, most efficient, then that is going to be what you're focusing on this week with that King of Swords energy. You also be making a lot of decisions right now. A lot may be on your shoulders for that reason. But you have the information and the knowledge, you have the intellect, and you have the understanding of what is right and wrong in order to make the proper decisions to move forward. So, while there is a lot of responsibility on you this week, you can handle it and you are the right person for the job. Alright, what else do we have? When it comes to the mental for you guys, we have the Chariot. So you're focused right now on something that you feel very driven towards. You may also Okay. So the material is the Executive of Arms, and then the mental is the Chariot. So what that tells me is that you have something that you're trying to achieve or accomplish at this point in time, and you're coming at it from a very straightforward, logical perspective, and that you're willing to not only do whatever you need to do to get there, but you're also willing to acknowledge whatever truth is revealed to you in this process. So you may also feel very driven to pursue more intellectual things, ideas. You may be learning or looking for some sort of information that you feel very driven to find. Let me see what else we got. We'll just add a little layer here of emotion. Your emotional status this week. We have I forgot to show it to you. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So you may have a bit of a feeling of being out of control at this point in time, and that may be bothering you, especially when you're coming from this King of Swords energy. Any King energy, you're going to want to have that, at the very least, you want the feeling of control. You want to feel like you can, if there's something that you don't like or something that isn't going the way that you want it to, that you can change it. But actually, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, alongside that Chariot card, kind of tells me that you're just along for a ride right now with the universe, and that you may be feeling some resistance to the way that things may be going right now, the direction that you may be moving at this point in time. And that would be why that Wheel of Fortune is coming out in reverse. So you may have to kind of let go a little bit of your control this week, and be more of a passenger than the driver. Let's see. Get a card for what's going on with you guys on a spiritual level this week. Okay, interesting. We have the 9 of Pentacles, and this is on the spiritual level. So this is success. This is fulfillment, satisfaction, enjoyment, independence on a spiritual level. So really coming into your own and making some major achievements when it comes to your spiritual understanding and growth. So whatever this situation is over here that you feel like you're not in control of, this is actually propelling you forward significantly when it comes to your spiritual development. And we can come back and look at this, expect powerful change over here, right? And then with the oneness over here, I feel like whatever occurs this week or has already occurred, the change that this is triggering within you is definitely a huge shift in perspective, because there's something that you are meant to learn. Like, this is part of your awakening process. I know I keep tripping over my words a lot. I'm sorry. It's like I'm just tripping over my own tongue. I don't really understand it. But you guys, you like to be in charge. You like to make your own decisions. You like to drive the car. But right now, you are a passenger because you're being shown things while the universe takes the wheel, while the universe drives. You are looking out the window. You're seeing everything for what it is. And you're seeing the vastness of everything that exists, and all the different kinds of people in the world that exist, and all of the experiences that other people have to go through, including your own experiences. And this is giving you that change in perspective that's turning you towards a more unified state of being, or feeling more connected and at one with everyone else and everything else around you. So I think that this powerful change for you guys is going to be very, very much private, personal, internal. But because we have this 9 of Pentacles in that spiritual position, your livelihood or your material life may be connected to your spiritual life in some way. And if that's the case, then things are going to be looking up for you in that, on the material level. So, I would say this change that's coming in for you guys is going to bring in a lot of prosperity, a lot of abundance. It could be with money, it could be in some other way, but I really feel like this is going to be in the material realm because we do have that 9 of Pentacles. So if your spirituality is connected to your material, connected to your work, then this shift in perspective is going to open a lot of doors for you that are going to allow for more growth on pretty much every level. Alrighty. I'll pull another card now for your general situation that you'll be dealing with this week. And we actually have 2 that came out for you guys for that position. So we have first the Hermit and the Sun. And they both came out upright. So time spent alone and solitary in reflection. This is going to, like, something will be revealed to you. Some kind of understanding. Something will become very clear. And this is actually going to bring you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. Perhaps if you have a lot of stress because of the lack of clarity on a situation, then that stress will be eliminated once you come into this understanding. So you'll be, as you're moving along on your journey, and you're kind of just like being along for the ride, observing everything that's happening around you, gaining that perspective on your place within, the cosmos, then you will take everything that you've observed, everything that you've learned, and while you think on it and you process it all, then it's almost like I get like the energy of an epiphany for you guys with the Hermit and the Sun, a very positive epiphany where it's something's just going to click for you guys, and where perhaps there was a lack of confidence or depression, there will now be happiness and understanding and just relief. I almost get relief for you guys. Like perhaps if there was a lot of stress or negativity that was going on with you guys, it was probably rooted in your need for control, and your feeling of not knowing what was coming next, or not being able to decide how your everyday went and how things played out. But there's an element here of like surrendering control to the universe so that you can in turn receive enlightenment, basically. Because we had the Hermit and the Sun come out together, like this is really big. So this that the Moonology card that says expect powerful change, I take that pretty literally right now. I think that something is definitely going to be made clear to you that is going to change your life. It's going to change the way you think. It's going to change your path, and it's going to change it for the better. Okay, so next cards we'll pull a couple cards for any challenges that you guys might face this week. Challenges that Taurus may be facing this week, please. Wow. We have the World. Okay. So the World is a challenge. I'm struggling to see how the World could be a challenge. Perhaps you feel that the world is on your shoulders. This could also tie back into control, or your challenge may be that things are not going to play out according to your plans, and that, because the World, this is a completion. This is a major completion of a cycle or of a journey for you. But if that journey completes in a different direction than what you planned or expected, then that could be difficult to swallow, be difficult to reckon with, unless you're willing to give up that control and just be open to wherever life takes you. Like, kind of like you're on a runaway train, but it's going at a nice, safe pace, and it actually is going to go somewhere eventually, and you don't know. Nobody told you. Nobody told you where this train is going. But the universe is promising you that it's taking you somewhere good. It's taking you where you need to be, whether or not that's where you want it to be. And so you just have to accept that. Okay, so acceptance, maybe. Acceptance would be what the challenge may be for you guys this week. I also have the High Priestess in reverse as a challenge. So you may have a difficult time connecting to your intuition, connecting spiritually on a certain level. There may also be things that are coming up subconsciously or unconsciously that are tripping you up, getting in your way, that you're not really aware of, because again, they are on that subconscious level. The High Priestess in reverse to me could also indicate like a spiritual block of some kind, or an energy block. Perhaps like within the chakra system. But there's just like, with the High Priestess, energy and understanding and love from the universe should flow through you naturally at its own pace. and for some reason that flow is interrupted within you guys this week. And so I think that is tied back up to the King of Swords, where you've made up your mind on how things are going to go, what you want, and how you're going to achieve it. You've made up your mind on who you are, what you are, and where you're going. And you may find out that that's changing. And you might forget to, I guess, check back in with your higher self, your intuition. Check back in with spirit in order to receive further guidance. Because you're not going to know where to go next because you didn't expect this to begin with. But my advice there would be, to just let go of your plans. Let go of your plans if things are not going according to your plan right now, but you are moving in a direction. Then accept it. Go with it. Let go, relax a little, and see where it takes you. And follow your heart. Remember to follow your heart. Perhaps you've been spending a lot of time lately following your mind, your brain, your logic, and that is good, but there's a time and a place for everything. And this week it seems to be important for you guys to be more connected intuitively and go by feel instead of by thought. Alrighty, so the next card that I'm going to pull for you guys, I'll pull a couple cards for advantages that will be available to you this week. Where are Taurus advantages this week? So we have the Emperor in reverse. So to me, the advantage, if that is an advantage, then that would be your ability to operate outside of a strict structure. There's an element of freedom that comes with the... If the Emperor reverse is to be interpreted as a lack of structure and a lack of control, then that could be interpreted as freedom. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. Another way that one could interpret the Emperor in reverse would be like a tyrant, or kind of an unforgiving, controlling, oppressive energy. So... But because it's coming out in the advantage position, then I feel that perhaps you are being freed from some kind of oppressing, controlling energy in order for you to move forward, and grow. So if you've been in a situation recently where you have felt oppressed or controlled or controlled, basically, by another individual. I'm not talking about the universe being in control here. I mean, like, if you have felt like you've been controlled by somebody else and it really bothers you, then I think that the universe is moving you in a different direction that you didn't expect, because that's what it's going to take to free you so that you can be... What's the word I'm looking for? Autonomous, I guess. So that you can have your own autonomy again. So that you are in control of your own life. And perhaps because of how you think, or because of the way you have lived all these years, you were unlikely to come to the decision to free yourself without a little help from the universe. And so that's what's happening right now. These changes that are taking place to free you, whether that be from another individual, an oppressing job, whether it be from oppressive circumstances, or a self-suppressing mindset. Whatever the case, freedom is what I'm getting for this. Freedom. Okay. One more card for our advantage for this week for Taurus. We have the Tower, and the Towers come out in reverse. And so what this tells me is that whatever this Tower moment is, it's actually already happened. And so everything that you're exploring this week, everything that you're reflecting on, is going to be rooted in whatever this Tower event was for you. Okay, coming into some kind of clear understanding about what happened the day your tower fell. how that transpired, what was behind it, and finally opening your eyes to what was made available to you when that tower fell, okay? So again, another element of freedom. Freedom from old ideas, freedom from bad habits, freedom from feeling like you need to meet the expectations of others. Or even freedom from your own expectations that may have been unreasonable, that were imposed on you by somebody else a long time ago. You know, it all comes full circle eventually. Okay. So we'll get one more tarot card for your lesson this week. And the lesson this week is Judgment. You have so many major arcana cards on the table today, guys. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is big, heavy, serious stuff. Well, it's not really heavy. It may feel heavy at first, but ultimately it's actually extremely positive for you guys. Because again, you're going to find freedom. You're going to feel freedom for like the first time in a long time. And that may actually be a little scary and intimidating for some, because some people get used to that, the routine of operating by somebody else's expectations. But now a whole world of opportunity is going to be opened up to you guys, because you're going to have this shift in perspective. You're going to be freed from whatever was holding you back before. And if you surrender your need for control to the universe, then you can be like, I don't know, almost like just a happy tourist on the road trip of life. And you're just going to get to look around and see everything around you with fresh eyes. And perhaps you'll see many things, and you'll start to understand things that were in front of you the whole time that you never really were able to see or comprehend until now, until you were freed from those mindsets and those behaviors and attitudes, whether they be yours or somebody else's. But with judgment being the lesson, then to me, judgment has to do with, it can be like fate, or a decision, or what's the word I'm looking for? The delivery of karma, in a sense, could also be what's coming up here with that Judgment card. So, there's a lot of things that are being brought to the surface. There's a lot of things that are being brought down to the same level. And things in your life may be brought to a state of neutrality, almost. Whew. Sorry about that. And ultimately, this is going to allow you to make a decision regarding your path, where you're going next, what you want out of your life, with this new understanding, this fresh mindset. These experiences that you're going to be going through, or are going through currently, are going to give you the power to be the judge in your own life. Because even though you had that sense of control up here, right, maybe you weren't really in control. You were still allowing yourself to be controlled by outside circumstances or outside factors. And so the lesson here is for you to decide for yourself. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and we'll move on to some other influences. They're going to be in play this week. We'll start out with the past influences. Influences from the past. Let's see what's going on from the past that may be coming up this week for you guys. Okay, we have the Exile Strategy, Failure, and Trauma. Alright, so you may be dealing with some trauma or some something bad that happened in the past to you that hurt you or affected you in a way where maybe it caused insecurity, okay, because we do have failure there. But failure really is a perspective. In the grand scheme of things, it all depends on how you look at a situation. When something doesn't go your way, is it a failure? If something doesn't go anywhere at all, then is it a failure? Or was it just a turn in your path, right? So that probably sounded confusing. I don't think I said that right. Anyway, past influences, I do think that trauma plays a big part in this. Something that happened probably in childhood or earlier in your life that really affected the way that you think and made you overly reliant on the King of Swords energy to push forward through life. Because perhaps when things are up in the air, when things are not totally predictable, it leaves you feeling very unsafe and insecure, to a point that is almost triggering in a way. You may be someone who experiences PTSD from time to time or regularly. You may be somebody for that reason who needs to always be in charge and have a plan and to always go by that plan. You may be OCD. So that's going to be something from your past that you're going to have to work through this week, something that's going to be coming up for you guys. Be open to it. It's not easy. I will never say that anything like that is ever easy, but it is worth it. And whether you can feel it or realize it or not, you do have spirit alongside you, guiding you, holding your hand, okay? Ready to catch you when you fall. If that's what happens, if working through this process is extremely painful, spirit is there to soothe you and to remind you that you are not alone in this process, right? We go back to the oneness, the unity. Everybody, to some extent, generally experiences similar things, goes through similar problems and issues through their lives. That's why the tarot works so well. So in that sense, as you work through these past traumas, in order to gain understanding and move forward in your life now, you have to. I feel like you're in a position right now where you absolutely have to focus on these things and face whatever it is from the past that hurt you, that you've been trying to heal this whole time, in order to actually fully have true control over yourself and your life and your power. Because I feel like up till this point, while you felt like you were in control, your trauma was in control. Your pain was in control. You were not in control. You were a slave to your pain, a slave to your trauma. And in a way, then also still under the influence of individuals or circumstances that hurt you to begin with. So there is going to be a lot of release, a lot of letting go. And it is possibly going to have a lot to do with ego, because if we go back to this Exile card, we have trauma, but failure. Failure is more related to ego. But sometimes the biggest effect that a trauma can have is on the ego. And so in order to process a trauma and heal from it, to accept it fully, then you have to let go of how you perceive it affected your ego. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Moving on for a second. We're going to go ahead and we'll look at your subconscious influences next. Let's see what's going on in the subconscious for Taurus. What's going on for Taurus in the subconscious this week? Awesome. We have the Peacock, lighthearted, laughter. The Peacock is also often related to the divine energy and a connection to God or divinity or just pure beauty, right? So subconsciously you may be craving beauty, you may be craving relaxation and just getting away and having a good time. So this is positive. However, if your focus needs to be on healing whatever this trauma may be, I guess I can kind of see this going both ways. This Peacock Energy could be pulled out of balance if you are choosing to ignore responsibilities or to avoid your healing process by going out and overindulging and just choosing to have a good time all the time. But also at the same time, you do really need to be able to laugh and have fun and play and just, get out of your thoughts every now and again when you are going through the healing process. So it's all about keeping it in balance. You may be craving beauty right now. You may want to go out in nature and see sights and just get away and feel good. Do something that makes you feel good. And that is okay. Totally reasonable. As long as you don't take it out of balance, basically. Let's see. Okay, so next card I'll pull a card for energies that you guys are attracting. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. What energies are Taurus attracting at this time? All right, self-awareness. So this actually ties in to the entire reading perfectly. Part of making this change and recognizing yourself as part of a larger whole is coming into that self-awareness, being aware of yourself and where you stand and who you are amongst everyone else in the world, basically. There's an element of becoming aware of your faults and areas where you need work, but then there's also awareness of your gifts, your talents, your value. Just pure self-awareness of who you are and what effect you have on the world around you. And also an understanding of how the world is affecting you at any given moment. So because you are attracting this energy of self-awareness, then the universe is giving you a lot of opportunities to become self-aware. So this may feel like a stroke of bad luck, but it is ultimately for your greater good. It is for your development, spiritually, basically. Okay. Next card we'll pull will be something that you need to let go of, or something that you can now let go of, that you've been holding on to, that's been holding you back. What can Taurus let go of this week? Okay, Aries got this too, and I'm sure that you're not surprised if you watch a lot of different readings. Aries and Taurus readings have been matching up pretty well lately. So what you guys need to let go, just like Aries, is, it says power. I had to turn off my autofocus because it was causing problems. But trust me, it says power. It also says Toni Morrison. So when the power card is what comes out when there's something that needs to be let go of, then to me that reads as letting go of control. This is not relinquishing all your power and becoming powerless. It's simply allowing the universe to take control of your life, your situation, for just this moment in time. This maybe just this week, maybe even just for a day, right? Relinquishing that control so that you can be guided and taught. Because as long as you're behind the wheel, you may not end up where you need to be. You might end up where you want to be for a little while, but you won't end up where you need to be. And I get the feeling there's just not a lot of time to waste right now. Like, in all of my readings, there's a little bit of a rush. There's a rush to heal, clear karma, realign your path, realign your values. And this is something that's true for everybody. So in this process for you guys this week, you have to let go of control. You have to let go of your need for control and trust the universe that it will take care of you and guide you where you need to go and provide you everything that you need to fulfill your purpose. Okay. So next, let's pull a card we'll pull 2 cards for your strengths. Strengths that you have already that you can take advantage of, or that you need to remember that you have in order to have an easier time this week. What do we have for Taurus? Strengths for Taurus, please. Okay, passion. Reconnect to your passion. This one's really no surprise to me. Taurus are very passionate about, whatever it is that they love, whatever it is that calls to them. On that spiritual level. So you are very passionate about something. I think that what you're passionate about is a search for truth, because we're coming all the way back up here to the well, maybe not a search for truth so much as a search for connection. Like, you're very passionate about connecting with others and connecting with spirit, and maybe even very passionate about your own enlightenment or ascension or whatever you want to call it. And so tap into that. Don't let go of that. Just because you're relinquishing a little bit of control does not mean that you need to throw out your passion to the wind as well. You can still be driven to explore everything that the universe puts in front of you, basically, even if you're not in total control. Alright, what other... throwing cards. Alrighty, so then we have affection. So affection as a strength tells me that this week you're going to want to tap into your ability to be compassionate and understanding towards others as well as yourself, okay? Affection for others, but also affection for yourself, and as you move through this healing process, right? As you're moving through, like, if you're going back and you're remembering old traumas from childhood and you're working through that, then you want to have affection and compassion for the version of you that went through that. Okay, because you're not necessarily the same person now unless it happened last week. But if it's, let's say something happened when you were a kid, you're working through stuff that happened when you were a kid, then you are looking back on that memory and having affection and compassion for that child that was you, and loving that child unconditionally, and understanding that child. If there were mistakes that were made, okay, maybe you made some mistakes in the past and they weigh on you. You have regrets. So then you spend time in reflection, and you are very affectionate towards yourself about the mistakes you made, and understanding and realizing that everyone makes mistakes and that those mistakes were very necessary to get you where you are today. And so there is no necessity for regret because of this. Alright, so now we'll move on to some advice cards for you guys. Start with the card from the Akashic Records, Oracle. We get some advice for Taurus this week. Okay, we have love. So this ties in really well to that affection card. Surround yourself with love. Surround yourself with loving people. Engage and feed only loving relationships. Do not expose yourself to anyone that... I mean, not everyone can love you, obviously. And you can't necessarily only be around people who love you. But just go where the love is. At least this week, while you're moving through this process, while you're working on your healing, and while such big changes are taking place in your life, then you're going to want to surround yourself with love, and you're also going to want to project love out into the universe, right? And this is tied into that karma. where you're going to want to, everything you put out, you're getting right back. Especially now, I read it somewhere, it's like Saturn is direct or something like that. So you want to be extra careful anyway. Disclaimer, am not an astrologer. However, Saturn direct is a thing. Karma is, from what I understand, being dealt out in a very timely and efficient manner at the moment. And so this could be just, the advice could be to put only love out. If you put any energy out, if you do anything, do it out of love, do it for love, or don't do it at all, because what you put out, you're going to get back. And with this energy of powerful change taking place at this time, then you want to make sure that everything that you do sets you up for positive changes and growth. All right, and so now we'll pull one more card for advice, and then we'll figure out our outcome. Okay, one more advice card for Taurus, please. All right, we have East, and in tiny letters that you can't see, it says Emergence. So it's the idea of like the sunrise. The sun rises in the east, it sets in the west. So for you, the sun is rising, or you are the sun that is rising. Also this idea of like a brand new day. Okay, like this is you coming out of your shell. Or if you're the hermit, then you're coming out of your cave. You got the hermit in there, right? Yeah, you got the hermit. Okay, you're coming out of your cave on the top of your volcano. And it's a brand new day, and the birds are singing, and you're a totally new person, and everything is fresh and new and beautiful. That is where you guys are going right now. That is what all of this is for. Anything difficult that you've been dealing with up to this point, and anything painful that may come up this week, this is to be able to finally break free of any darkness that has held control over your life into a brand new day, where anything is possible, where you are one with the universe, one with everyone around you, and surrounded and full of just infinite and unconditional love. I like it. I love it, actually. This is a great reading. You guys are going to be all right. It's a tough time for everybody when you have to go dig up all this old shit that is painful, when you got to, like, deal with the sickness and the unjustness of human life on Earth, right? Because that's really what you're working through right now. There was something that happened to you that was wrong and unfair. And it damaged you. It hurt you really bad. It affected how you think and how you behave. It affected how you feel about yourself, and it affected how you feel about the world around you. And the only way to emerge from this is to process it and to become fully aware of how those events changed you and whether or not those changes were for the better or not. Maybe some of them were. Probably some of them were not. And as long as you're honest with yourself about that, there's nothing to regret. There's nothing to feel bad about. There's nothing to, you don't need to hate yourself if you made mistakes, because that's all part of ego. You gotta let go of ego. It's very, it's a lot, actually. It's really a lot. You got so many major arcana cards up here. Like, this is huge for you guys. I don't know if I can really express that enough. Like, if you are dedicated to your growth and your enlightenment, and you're willing to do the dirty work just to get to that point of awareness, if you're willing to be wrong, if you're willing to admit that maybe you fucked up sometimes, or you're willing to, say out loud to yourself that, something bad happened, right? If you're able to be upfront with yourself, then it's almost like when you say it, if you say it out loud, you give it to the universe, you give it away, you free yourself from it, you release it, it flies away like a pretty little birdie, and it leaves you lighter and happier and free. It's freedom. This is freedom for you guys. So even though it may be a little painful this week, don't forget that it is worth it. This is rebirth. This Emergence card here. Rebirth is what I get from that. Okay? So hang in there. You're so close. I mean, you're so close. You've got the world. You've got 9s and 10s and... like you're almost there. Okay. So 2 more cards out of the Lenormand deck to give us a little wrap up of, best possible outcome or whatever. And then we will wrap up this reading for this week. It's only an hour long. Okay. First we have the Stork. Okay, Stork is all about changes and migrations. Storks also bring babies. No pressure. Okay. And the Scythe. Alright. Okay, look, this ties in, this is exactly, right? Okay, this expect powerful change right here. The Stork is changes and migrations, and the Scythe is quick, sudden. I also associate the Scythe with that Saturn energy also as well, because the Scythe is used to, what's the word I'm looking for? To harvest, that's the word. To harvest crop, right? So everything that you have put out and all the seeds you've planted, everything that you have put energy into and that you've worked to manifest, like you are reaping the rewards, the benefits, the consequences, whatever it may be. That this is karma playing out swiftly for you in this time of great change. Is that, in fact, this may be what initiates that change. Okay, and this is also like the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. So these changes are coming in very quickly for you guys. It can get overwhelming, which is again why that Hermit energy is very necessary to get away, be alone, be still, be quiet, relax. And when you have an opportunity, just be chill and have fun with something. Do something that you enjoy, that makes you happy when you don't need to be doing the hard work. And then when you do need to be doing the hard work, do the hard work, and so that you can heal and let go. That's what this is about. So this is good stuff. It may sound intimidating. This is good stuff for you guys. I think you're going to be perfectly fine. This is big. That's all I know. It's different for everybody though. But I'm sure that you may find a lot of people who are on the same journey as you, because a lot of this I think is due to cosmic and earthly energies that are affecting everybody. So you're definitely not alone. And even though you may not be in total control at the moment, you're always in control of yourself. So keep that in mind. Good luck to you guys, Taurus. Thank you for joining me today for this reading. If you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I upload every week. And until next time, you guys take care.